the lion's silent roar. Simba, the once great king of the Pride Lands, had always carried a deep-rooted dream. His heart longed for peace, true, lasting peace, where the circle of life was never broken, where his reign would bring harmony to every creature under the sun. He had fought for it, bled for it, and led with wisdom passed down from his father. But as time wore on, a darker truth began to surface, one he refused to see. What if peace could never truly exist? One night, under the glow of a full moon, Simba stood alone atop Pride Rock. The wind whispered through the grasslands, carrying with it an eerie sense of foreboding. His kingdom lay before him, bathed in moonlight, peaceful and quiet. But the quiet wasn't comforting. It was empty, like the calm before a storm. In the distance, thunder rumbled, though the skies were clear. Simba's heart sank. "Father," Simba murmured, his eyes scanning the stars above, "am I truly bringing peace?" The stars twinkled, but no voice answered. For years, Simba had relied on the wisdom of his father, Mufasa, to guide him. But now, the stars were silent, and in their silence, a cold fear began to gnaw at Simba's heart. From the shadows, a voice emerged, soft, haunting, and unfamiliar. "Simba, king of nothing." Simba's ears perked up, his muscles tensing as he turned to face the source of the voice. But there was no one there, just the vast expanse of the savannah and the distant rumble of thunder. "Who's there?" Simba growled, his voice steady but filled with unease. The wind shifted, and the voice came again, closer this time. "You dream of peace, Simba, but peace is a lie." Simba's heart raced. He had fought his entire life to uphold the circle of life, to protect the balance of nature that Mufasa had taught him to cherish. But the voice's words cut deep. "No," Simba growled, his claws digging into the rock. "The circle of life is real. I've seen it." The voice chuckled, a low, sinister sound. "You've seen the illusion, Simba. But the truth is that the world is chaos. No matter how hard you try, you will never bring peace." Simba's eyes narrowed. He had faced many enemies in his time. Scar, the hyenas, and even the treacherous humans who had once threatened the Pride Lands. But this was different. This was a battle he couldn't fight with strength or strategy. This was something deeper, something darker. The voice grew louder, more menacing. "You cannot stop the chaos. The circle is broken. It has always been broken." Simba's chest tightened. "I've held this kingdom together. I've fought for peace." "Have you?" the voice hissed. "Or have you simply delayed the inevitable?" In the days that followed, the peace in the Pride Lands began to unravel. The once harmonious kingdom was plagued by growing tension, an unseen force that stirred restlessness in every creature. Simba's advisors noticed it too. The animals were becoming uneasy. Conflicts between species were increasing, and the once predictable flow of life was starting to falter. Simba tried to hold it together. He held meetings with his council, patrolled the borders of his kingdom, and reminded his people of the circle of life. But the voice haunted him at every turn, whispering in the wind, echoing in his dreams. "The circle is broken. Simba, you cannot fix it." The stars, once a comforting presence, now seemed distant and cold. Simba searched for guidance, but his father's voice had gone silent, and with each passing day, the weight of the kingdom grew heavier on his shoulders. One night, as the wind howled through the savannah, Simba stood once again on Pride Rock, staring out into the darkness. The voice returned, stronger than ever. Simba, you will never bring peace. You were never meant to. Simba's heart pounded in his chest. I am king. I am meant to protect this land. The voice laughed, a hollow, mocking sound. Protect? You are merely delaying the chaos. You cannot stop what's coming. Simba's mind raced. For the first time, doubt crept into his thoughts. Was it true? Had he been fooling himself all along? Was peace just an illusion? A fleeting dream that would never truly come to pass? The final breaking point came on a stormy night. The Pride Lands, usually vibrant and full of life, were now consumed by a violent storm. Lightning split the sky, and thunder rumbled so loudly it shook the ground beneath Simba's paws. The animals, terrified and confused, sought shelter, but there was a deeper fear in the air, a fear that something far worse than a storm was coming. Simba stood alone on Pride Rock, his eyes scanning the horizon as the rain poured down in sheets. His heart pounded in his chest as the voice returned, louder and more insistent than ever. You cannot escape the truth, Simba. The circle is broken. Peace is a lie. Simba's breath came in short, sharp bursts. His claws scraped against the stone as he tried to hold on to the belief that had guided him his entire life. But the storm, the voice, and the chaos swirling around him chipped away at his resolve. The voice grew louder, booming over the sound of the storm. You cannot save them, Simba. You will never bring peace. Simba's vision blurred as the rain pelted his face, but through the storm, he saw it, darkness rising on the horizon. A shadow, vast and menacing, approached, consuming everything in its path. The animals fled, their cries of terror piercing through the night. Simba's heart raced as the shadow drew closer, unstoppable, inevitable. The voice laughed, cold and cruel. The circle is broken, and so are you. Simba's legs trembled beneath him as the shadow enveloped the Pride Lands. The once great king, the lion who had fought for peace, now stood powerless against the chaos that consumed his kingdom. As the darkness closed in, Simba realized the terrible truth. Peace was never within his grasp. The circle of life, the balance he had fought so hard to protect, was an illusion. And in the end, he was just another king, doomed to watch his kingdom fall to ruin. The last thing Simba saw before the shadow swallowed him whole was the broken horizon, a reflection of his shattered dream. This is the tragedy of Simba, a king who sought peace but discovered that chaos is the true ruler of the world. His roar, once powerful and full of hope, is now silent, lost in the wind that carries the whispers of a broken circle.